This is being recorded for week 4, Liberty University History 701. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Robert DeGaramore, and I'm here to have a minimal discussion on what I found on the Oxford Scholarship Online. Um, Quite frankly, this is the best site that I've been to as far as an alternative research source of information. Yes, they're books, but they have been current and relevant to the subjects that I'm interested in. I found 4 books here. Unfortunately, I was not able to read them in their entirety, yet they are being placed on my list of things to read. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get to them for about a year and a half because of that list. But anyway, without further ado, let me go into them and share with a little bit of what I found. The first one is a book by Timothy Althorn. It was published in 2019, so it's very recent. The title, All That Glittered, Britain's Most Precious Metals from Adam Smith to the Gold Rush. This site is incredibly, I kind of skipped on this one to the very end of it with the kind of the gold rush. And the author's got some great insight to the California gold rush in itself. We're talking in 1848 to 1849, where California, San Francisco specifically, went from being pretty much a fishing village on the West Coast to being a cosmopolitan city, equal in population to New York or Philadelphia. It was an incredible growth story. And it also became an epicenter of international trade in the Pacific. You know, it opened doors to the China and the Dutch trades and Java and Borneo. But all of those are obviously side stories to the gist. It talks about how the the gold standard and the flooding of money into the international economy was for real, and it just gave me an insight to many, many more topics that I want to include into some sort of dissertation that I'm percolating in my mind. Uh, the next one is written by Christine Desan. She says, Making Money, Coin Currency, and the Coming of Capitalism. This, again, I just skimmed it, but I went in detail in a couple chapters. The one I was more interested in is how she's talking about the difference between a mercantilist system and a capitalist system. Before Adam Smith put the theory up there of capitalism, mercantilism was pretty much the norm. In a nutshell, mercantilism is for us to be a winner, someone has to be a loser. We're closing our own markets. We're only going to export, but we're not going to import anything. You know, it was the economic theory that basically caused a lot of wars between, say, 1600 and 1800s in world history. The specific importance of this is when the Wealth of Nations came out and the capitalist idea of opening these economic trading routes and creating a win-win situation expanded the markets, expanded the amount of money available, and it expanded the tax base, and it stabilized international currencies. So she goes into detail on that and how it's kind of funny how she starts explaining. This is one thing that we can accept now. My son, I have a bunch of these from my son, and my father has like thousands of these. Like, yeah, Dad, I'll pay you later. And she goes on to explain how in the international spectrum, that's not a good thing, especially like around the time of the American Revolution. There were a lot of American plantation owners that were up to their eyeballs in debt to England. And there's some QAnon theorists out there that say, you know, this is a beautiful thing. That's actually why the revolution was fought, is to basically avoid a bankruptcy court. Okay. So that's just another theory that she brings to the table. The next one is Introduction to King Bullion. Okay. And it's funny here is he comes from 1848 to 1873. And the interesting thing about this, 1848 is gold flooding the international markets from California in the 1840ish to 1873, where the United States, under the Currency Acts, decided to probably make their currency have some backing with gold. Okay, and so the title obviously speaks for itself, but it myopically introduces theme after theme after theme that are currency based, and how the gold is coming and creating this new stabilized international market. Pretty cool stuff. And the last one was the sovereign of the market, the money question in early America. Um, this has been a continual theme of mine as far as how messed up the currencies were in America, um, right until the United States had a firm currency policy that was probably not really in place until, well, 1792. We're talking about, counterfeit going rampant, or like, okay, we got to crack down on that, all the way up to where Jackson basically goes after the bank and saying it's a good old boys club. And to me, it's just a fascinating historical subject. And the one thing I like about it, it's not like a historiography either. It's not like you just kind of make this stuff up as you go along. This is my opinion, revisionist history. No, this is facts. I mean, this is like this happened, this happened. And economically and statistically, you can verify all this stuff. So this is the action the Americans took. This was what happened. Anyway, enjoy your weekend.